Hello everyone and welcome back to our Rise of Kingdom video. My name is Legend Ronnie and today I want to give you the 3 best legendary archer pairs in Rise of Kingdoms. Now that Amanitar and Gilgamesh are being released in Rise of Kingdoms, we can definitely give you the best 3 of them all. As many of you would expect, to introduce some of the new Archer commanders, I'm gonna be very honest about it. The new Archer commanders that have been introduced into the game, they are not really field battle oriented. And usually, when I try to give the best 3, some of them are also good in rallies, but usually is based on utility. So even when I've done the cabs, even when I've done the infantry, it's a lot based on utility. Even though some of the marches that I said are also good in rallies, but again, it's also utility because you don't have to retreat through marches in order to launch a rally. You have to retreat only one march. Therefore, as crazy as it sounds, but these 2 new Archer commanders will not be introduced in my best 3 marches because I just don't think that any of them is as good as it should be for field fighting or providing some benefits on the field fighting that will actually worth it to bring them on the field. The old commanders, the old well, I have to call them the old because we have the new ones, right, are still the best based on utility. Cyrus, Artemisia, Nebuchadnezzar, Ramses, YSG, all these commanders, they are still the best for field fighting. Probably even Edward, but to be honest, he's kind of a target, so not something I would really go for. I like Edward a lot, and the moment he was released, he was a beast, and for a very long time, Edward was a beast. But unfortunately, because of all these newish commanders that have been introduced, he's just dropping in utilities. And honestly, I really believe that this 30% health is not working as intended, or probably health doesn't benefit as much on archers. And that makes Gilgamesh, I think, even less useful. Right? Because if I'm right, Gilgamesh gives 30% health to the archers. Yep, 30% health bonus. Many of other archer commanders are still very useful, including El Cid. So if you want to put it on the table like that, all the archer commanders that have been introduced in this game, like all of them, they can still have utilities and they can still be very useful on field fighting. While the cabs are dropping in utilities, infantries are dropping in utilities, like who is still using double C, who is still using Minamoto on the field. And I'm talking about Season of Conquest. Because obviously if you go in KVK 1, 2, and 3, that's pretty much what you can use. In those KVKs, Minamoto, double C, Richard, Charles, Constantine, and various other. But when you go to the Season of Conquest, those commanders drop in utilities drastically. They don't really give you the benefits that you're looking for. While YSG is still one of the best archer commanders into the game, the best commander overall into the game, and as crazy as it sounds, but even El Cid is still useful if you, let's say, are a free-to-play, a low spender, and after, I don't know, 2.5 years, 3 years, you're maxing El Cid. You can definitely still use him on the field. I would, if I would have him maxed. Even like this, 5553, he's still very useful, but I just don't have archers for a second march. Not enough archers, and I already have Nebu and YSG. So if my plan was to do Artemisia with El Cid, which is not wrong, because you get the march speed. So Artemisia and YSG, for example, they just don't have any march speed increase from the skills, but Artemisia and El Cid, they do. And then you get another 20% defense bonus, so you have a very super tanky archer march, which is nothing wrong. And if you get his expertise, that's another 5% defense more. So it's all good stuff from El Cid. It's really good skill, even that his damage is a little bit low compared to many other commanders that are in the game. But he's still a very okay and a very good commander that you can use if you're lacking other legendaries to use on the field, just to put it out there. So instead of just bringing a Charles and someone just because he's infantry, I would rather come with an El Cid on the field, or bringing a Richard just because he's a Richard. I would rather bring an El Cid on the field, just to put it like that. And before I'm gonna go into the 3 best marches, that's why I have to mention that all the commanders, all the Archer commanders are just so good. And I have to say another thing, that is very hard for anyone to tell you the best 3 Archer pairs. So the only thing that I can do is go by the best 3 favorite, the best 3 that are favorite for me, especially for field fighting. Because let's be honest, Artemisia YSG, Nebuchadnezzar YSG, Ramses YSG, video ends, right? Like, all 3 of them, they are really good, and everyone knows that Artemisia YSG is my favorite, and a lot of people are using Ramses and YSG, and Nebuchadnezzar and YSG is also really good. So you get the point what I'm trying to say in the video, that pretty much any combinations you can do with these commanders, they will be really good combination. So it's really nobody that can say that this is the best or this is the best. It's just probably based on being very favorite. So going on to the first one is Artemisia and YSG. And the way I'm gonna put it is just in case you want to do 3 Archer marches for field fighting. So if you want to roll out with 3 Archer marches, Artemisia YSG can be one of them. Artemisia and Tomiris can also be one of them, so you have 2 options. Artemisia and El Cid can also be one of them, so you have 3 options for number 1. Going on to the number 2, we have Nebuchadnezzar, right? We have to introduce Nebuchadnezzar somewhere. Now, it all depends how you pair your first 2, because you have Cyrus as well. So I've seen and I've heard from a lot of people that Cyrus and Nebuchadnezzar is an amazing pair. I personally never invested in any of my accounts on Cyrus, so I cannot actually test that or say that Cyrus and Nebuchadnezzar is one of the things. But judging by the skills and judging by the amount of defense and mobility that you get, this can definitely be another march. So I put this on second because Cyrus needs a little bit more love, and definitely will get it in this video. Cyrus and Nebuchadnezzar is the second march that you can do if you're really heavily investing on archers. Now going on number 3 is Ramses, because we have to add Ramses somewhere. Ramses and Tomiris is one of my favorite march, basically my second favorite march, to put it like that. Artemisia and YSG is my first favorite, and my second favorite is Ramses and Tomiris. Now there is a problem doing these 3 marches. If you're a rally leader, I mean at this point, if you have so many archer commanders, you most likely are a rally leader as well. Now if you are a rally leader and you have to do Ramses and Nebuchadnezzar, or you're probably having Gilgamesh at that point, and you just don't want to switch the equipment, you can definitely use Gilgamesh for the field as well. It's not going to be any problem, and if you have to rally, you just get him back and you just launch the rally if he's going to be your rally leader. I've done his video, you can definitely check him out. I've talked a lot about him and in details and so on. If you still have to use the current meta for archers in rally, Ramses and Nebuchadnezzar, then you can definitely go with Artemisia and YSG. You can go with Ramses and Nebuchadnezzar, and then if you want to do a third archer march, to be honest, if you want to use Tomiris with Cyrus, it's not going to work. The best third option would be, if you want to do Ramses and Nebu, is Edward and Tomiris, but they will be so targeted on the field that probably is not something I would really want to bring out there. So again, you're probably realizing how many options and how many good options you have for the archers, and how many pairings you can do with the archers. It's just unreal, right? Because archers are just really good, like all of them. Even bringing Edward on the field is not very wrong. The only problem with him is that he doesn't have any defense option. That's my problem with Edward. He just goes down so fast. This 30% health, it's like meaning nothing. The only thing that this 30% health helps you is so you don't get so much hospital bills, and that is definitely helping you out. But as part of as defense options, like Ramses has, when you check him, he has skill damage reduction, and then he has a chance to get defense. Artemisia has defense as well, and defense talent tree. So obviously much more defensive commanders, but Edward just doesn't have any of that, just to have less hospital bills. He's being targeted all the time on the field. I mean, every time I see one, I just go for him. He's just so soft. Really, really juicy target. Same is with Cyrus. When I see Cyrus, I also go on the field, and I also heard about Cyrus and Ramses, but let's face it, Ramses is so universal. I mean, you can do LCD and Ramses and you can still get something really good. You can do Herman and Ramses, you can do Hero and Ramses if you want, and you still get a good Archer pair. Just because Ramses is such an amazing commander overall. So pretty much wherever you put him, you're just gonna get good results. So just because you put Cyrus first doesn't really mean that Cyrus is the thing regarding that march. Very, very complicated. Like I was mentioning at the beginning of the video, for someone to give you the best tree, it's just like the tree favorite. Pretty much that's what everyone can do. Well, I used my last KVK, and what I wanted to use, to be honest, because I don't have Cyrus, obviously, I wanted to do Artemisia and YSG. I was doing Nebuchadnezzar and Mehmed. Yep, Nebuchadnezzar and Mehmed, because pretty much Mehmed is a smaller version of YSG, just attack and skill damage increase and troops capacity, so nothing else. Exactly what the YSG has, just skill damage increase, attack increase, and AoE. So Nebuchadnezzar and Mehmed, and Ramses with Tomiris. That was the 3 Archer marches that I was planning to do last KVK. Unfortunately, I didn't have Archers, so I had to resume to only 2 Archer marches. And because I was rallying, I had to do Ramses and Nebu. That was one of my marchers. I was doing Artemisia and YSG, and I was doing Charles Martel because I had infantry. Charles Martel with Tomiris. So that is that. And if I would have had Cyrus, or if I would have had... well, I did have Edward, but like I said, it's not really something I wanted to bring out. I could have bring Edward, but didn't have Archers. So a lot of situations and a lot of marches and a lot of combinations that you can do with Archers. It can go, I wouldn't say endless, because it's just 10 legendary Archers that we have. So at some point you can reach the limit of how many combinations can be. But the problem is Amanitar and Gilgamesh is not something I would really bring on the field. So it's still the previous Archer commanders if you want to use for the field. Let me know in the comment section below what do you think about this. And if you're thinking that Gilgamesh is reducing the health on the target, you have Aethelflaed. There is so many Aethelflaeds, so many Trojans and Aethelflaeds roaming around. You can only have 1 health debuff from a primary skill on a target at a time, so they don't stack. Active skills don't stack. If they would have been passive skills, that's a total different thing. Until next time, this is your boy Geroni signing off. Peace out, y'all, and take care. See you on the next one, and stay safe out there, my friends.